What's up, everyone? Welcome back to BKNY Hoops. If you're new to the channel, I am your host, as always, Rasheed White. All right, let's get into this video over here. Bill Simmons from, I think, the Ringer podcast. I don't know. I don't really follow the guy. But story came up. I was doing some research, looking for some type of news to actually put out there. And this came up over here. The Ringer, Bill Simmons doesn't think this Brooklyn Nets team is not really that great. You know, the hate actually continues. And I don't know what he's actually seeing through his lenses there, but if you look at the roster that we actually had last year, we had a bunch of, and you know, the thing is that, we lost Joe Harris, we lost Patty Mills, and we lost Seth Curry. Well, those guys wasn't hitting for us. Now, the argument you can actually say now is that, okay, if you can have the best sharpshooters in the world, but if you don't have guys like a Ja Morant, a Ben Simmons, a Giannis Antetokounmpo. And before you guys try to laugh at me about Ben Simmons, just go watch the Miami Heat game and see how quickly down. I mean, you got to get those shooters wide open, man. You know, so if you don't have guys that can actually put pressure on the rim like that, you can stay close to those shooters and somewhat affect their shots. Now, Seth Curry and Patty Mills is like 5'10". I mean, like 5'11", 6 feet. Maybe, well, Seth Curry 6'1", but Joe Harris, I mean, he couldn't hit anything, man, for us, man. Yeah, so it's like, and it's like 2 years now. You know, we was hurt 2 years. I'm gonna be following his progress with the Detroit Pistons. The same thing with Seth Curry and Patty Mills to see, well, what the hell is going on? That these guys are just like bad for us, but then when they get to other teams, then they're actually really good. So let's get into what Bill Simmons actually has to say. And about the Brooklyn Nets season, he's not really high on it. I know I am. Definitely compared to last year's roster that we actually had post Kyrie and Kevin Durant.
They are plus 152 for the playoffs. I personally think they blew it not going for Dame Lillard. So here's where it gets tough.
All right, so why do you want... All right, getting Dame is a mistake. You see the money that's actually owed out to him, okay? First of all, you have to gut the roster just to actually get Dame. Okay, that's one thing. Two, you know, why make a move like that? Why take in all of that money when you're definitely not going to actually win a championship? Even before Boston even made the moves, you're not going to beat Boston. And Boston actually made the moves. You know, let's say Boston did make those moves. We wasn't beating Boston. And miraculously that we actually get to the finals, you're not beating Denver, you know, or the Phoenix Suns. So why take on that kind of money if it's not going to get you a championship?
Because I don't like this team, and they are making Ben Simmons the point forward. And Spencer Dinwiddie's had some thoughts about this already. He's positive about it. But, you know, he had the car keys last year, and now Ben's going to have the car keys. So he's going to have to learn to adjust off the ball.
That's something he actually wants to do. He doesn't really want to play the point guard. He actually wants to play more like a 2 or scoring. Then when he doesn't want to run an offense, he actually wants to score.
And we had workout videos posted again.
Yeah, there's been some workout videos. They don't have their first round pick this year. It goes to Houston. So they don't have really any incentive to be bad. But I also don't think they're very good. You're talking Dinwiddie, Simmons, Miles Bridges, Cam Johnston, Nick Claxton, Finney Smith's in there, O'Neal. They're fine. It's a perfectly Lonnie Walker's in there now. Perfectly serviceable team. Is it okay if I just never believe in Ben Simmons again?
Yeah, it was funny.
Believe in my Ben Simmons, but I'm not going to believe in the other Ben Simmons.
Because I was thinking about like clean slate program. Like, could we just each have 3 guys where you go, we have to be clean slate. We can't bring up any of the shit anymore.
So Randall would be a good one for you for a clean slate program.
No, because when I did that deep dive on him where I just watched him for an entire Miami game, because I was having like a hard time with that series where I go, I'm just going to watch him. And boy, did I end up not liking him after a couple of those games. But yeah, if I just said Ben Simmons, clean slate program, I can't bring up anything in the past. I have to go in with a totally like
open mind.
I have to be like an NBA writer that does a profile on him.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this guy gets it. It's right around the corner.
Right.
Could you do it? Could you do it with Russell Westbrook? I think Westbrook's like, you can't do it anymore. Harden, I would not allow that content to be taken from me. Could you do a clean slate deal with Ben Simmons starting now? I challenge you.
I don't know how he looks athletically yet, because the guy that played for the Sixers until the fateful.
I mean, there's a little small sample size if you just go ahead and do the research, and it's right there, right, right in front of your face there.
Atlanta series was just athletically a specimen who I think was one of the best athletes in the league and was an awesome defensive player. And is that guy still exist? So if you're telling me that guy's back and mentally there's some stuff going on, but at least the athlete part is back, I could talk myself into it. I just don't know. When somebody doesn't play for how many years was that? 2.5?
Well, yeah, I mean, kinda. I mean, I think
you're going spring of 2021, throw away the 22, 23, he was a zombie. So it's been.
It's literally an all-time. I don't know. You have.
But we might know. There might deep down we all might know.
The big question is, does he like to play professional basketball?
I'm really glad you asked that. The answer has been probably not for a while here.
Doesn't seem like it.
No.
But what if?
All right, it's called rehabbing from an injury. You see why you can't take these guys very seriously? All right, he's rehabbing from an injury, okay? If you have a bad back, and people get mad at me for defending Ben Simmons, okay, I played basketball for 25 years, still play, and I had 2 back injuries. I know how painful it is, and you cannot play. Your body will not allow you to actually play. Just like if you have a broken leg, your body will not allow you to actually play. And then when you heal from that leg, there's also a psychological component from coming back from those kind of injuries. Is the back good? Do I want to go through that kind of pain again? And the thing is, these are people over here. Yeah, you know, I think Bill Simmons, looks at these guys like they're robots, and the other co-hosts, that he actually has over here. They're human beings. They call them product. Okay, they're human beings. Okay, they have emotions. They have feelings, just like you do. Okay.
If he decides that he does,
he's really good. He's young. He's really good at saying all the right things. All
right, you don't become a 3-time All-Star. I think he made an All NBA team. He made a defensive team. You don't become that without actually loving to actually play the game. Okay. All right. Only 1% of people like from around the world actually makes this. There's millions of basketball players out there, man. So you actually have to have a real true love for the game. I mean, to get to like his level. You know, there's guys who are athletic that can actually make it, you know, like who like you know, that's gifted. They have, you know, good genetics, like really, really long arms, like wingspans and everything. Yeah, those guys can actually make it, and they may not like to play, but I mean, to get to like a LeBron level, Steph Curry, you know, Ja Morant, you know, Joel Embiid. I mean, to make multiple All-Star teams, okay, you gotta love to play the game, okay? There's, you know, and it takes time. You know, there's no player coming out of college, you know, whether you have 3 years, 2 years, that's already polished, all right? Every player in the NBA has some sort of deficiency and things they actually have to work on their games. LeBron James shoots 70-something% from the free throw line. Kevin Durant shoots 90%. So can LeBron get to 90%? Same thing with Kyrie. Can LeBron get to 90%? Okay, everybody actually has deficiencies in their game. You know. So these guys don't play the game, man. That's just how it is, man. They're just a bunch of. I could tell who's a hooper, who's not. These guys aren't real hoopers, man.
Basketball isn't scheduled. Like August, great quotes.
Look, if it were just his health, that'd be one thing. I think he is mentally shot.
Yeah.
No coming back.
Right.
He's a kid, though.
Well, that determines the over-under, because if you don't think he's going to be good for them this year, I don't see how they hit the over. I don't think
he was
still getting 35 and 47 team.
You remember, I think it was a Boston game where he had 1 million assists in the first half, and they actually took him out of the rotation to close the game because it was getting a little tighter.
Yeah.
And he was starting to revert to, I don't really want to make decisions here with the ball. And they ended up yanking him from him. Now, if that's because of his back, okay.
Well, maybe it's if he doesn't hit free throws that well, and maybe you want to get good free throw shooters in the game. Something Ben has to work on. He has to work on his free throws, you know, and it gets to get to 90%. Takes a lot of work. It's not going to happen in 1 year. It's not going to happen in 2 years. Okay, it's not going to happen in 3 years. And if he was hurt, he was injured, especially with a back injury. I mean, You actually really need to, go down low and then come back up and then shoot your free throws. You have a back injury, you really can't do that. So these guys are a bunch of clowns, man. I don't know if in the thumbnail should I put a clown hat on Ben Simmons, but yeah, Bill Simmons, like you say, Ben Simmons, Bill Simmons, and these guys are a bunch of clowns. The team actually looks really, really well. If Ben is actually looking the way he's actually looking, especially in that Miami Heat game, I know he only had 2 points, but the 2 points he actually did have came from the free throw line, and he just, wasn't overthinking. He shot those. The ball looked good. Everything, everything looked good from him from the free throw line. But the thing I was impressed by is that, one, I didn't know he can actually explode, like dribbling the ball with his left hand, with his left, and still be able to move that quickly. So that's huge right there. And, guys are going to actually have a lot of open shots. If you look at the roster, this is a much, much better roster than what was previous over here, man. You have Derek Whitehead, who's actually a big question mark. If he can come in, and, Lonnie Walker is really like the X factor really on this team. He can really, really play. I love his game, man. And I think that's why my boy Reggie from the Locker Room, he has a show on YouTube, is so butthurt and talking trash about my Brooklyn Nets because they lost Lonnie Walker. If the Lakers actually had him right now, it's definitely an upgrade of Austin Reeves. Lonnie Walker could defend. He could put the ball on the floor. He's much more athletic. And I just love his game, man. He doesn't really over dribble. You see him 3-4 dribbles, can't do anything with it. He passes the ball and then moves around and cuts, and he's athletic. He can finish, So yeah, this is actually a pretty good roster. We've seen Day'Ron Sharpe. I thought he was like 6'11". He's 6'9". But sometimes you can actually play bigger than what your actually height is. So you look at Mikal Bridges, he actually averaged 26. Cam Johnson was he can have 30-something point games. Ben Simmons can give us 16 to 20-something points a game. And we're just way more athletic than we was last year. And then Harry Gills, I guess. All right, so I guess this is the final roster right here. You look at the previous roster. Let's see. That's it. Look at the previous roster. Really hard to actually gauge that. But we got guys. Oh yeah, I forgot about Rodion Kurucs. Right, they say they still have him on the roster? Is he still? Wait, where was it? Oh, okay, this is from the okay. Oh, this is 2021. All right, I was about to say Rodion Kurucs. Forgot about him, man. What was I saying now? All right, so getting back to Bill Simmons. Let's see.
Okay, that's what he tells us all the time, and that he's back, he's ready to go. I think the biggest thing with Brooklyn here is they built up so much equity despite the weird turnover they had with Kyrie. And they were 11-12 games over 500. They make that trade. They basically play 3 to 4 games under 500 with this group
for
the rest of the way,
games,
but they still held on to a 6 seed.
Yeah.
So I think the overplay.
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, so I'm going under.
Yeah, that
See, Dinwiddie actually made better decisions with the basketball. I count, and listen. Hey, Claude Smith. These are facts. These are not emotions or anything like that. He cost us 10 games. All right. So, and that last year, we Brooklyn Nets actually swept the Miami Heat, in all 4 games. So who knows? Who definitely knows if that could have been the Brooklyn Nets actually going to the finals right there instead of the Miami Heat. Because there was definitely, injuries from the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis still actually has a lot to improve on. And, I like Dreamers Pro would say, oh, yeah, he got better. No, he hasn't. It's not from a skills perspective. So he actually has a lot of work. So I'll wrap this up, man. This video is actually going on long. I wanted to keep this thing under 10 minutes. But I'll wrap this video up. I think the Brooklyn Nets will probably be a 4th or 5th seed. It's better than the Knicks. The Knicks haven't really made any kind of offseason really crazy offseason overhauls on the roster or anything like that. It's better than the Cleveland Cavs because Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. I mean, we just have size over those guys, man. And if Donovan Mitchell is not going to actually trust his teammates, then can't play like that with the Brooklyn Nets, man. You actually have to move the basketball. You're going to actually have to play as a unit to actually beat them, man. They got guys that can guard all 5 positions. All right, I'm rambling. All right, definitely like, comment, subscribe, certainly share this video. And when you share, the universe certainly